Hey Libras and Libra lovers. This reading intends to take a look at December 10th through the 16th, 2018, of course. But in particular, I would like to sort of zoom in on Mercury's transit into Sagittarius and how that affects Libra life this week. Since it is the 12th, before I am able to put your week reading out, you and two other signs, in fact, I had the feeling that it was pretty meant to be that there was actually a transit this day. And I'm interested to see how specifically Mercury is affecting, well, everyone. But right now we're going to see how Mercury is affecting your life this week, Libra. Of course, Mercury was in Sagittarius retrograde not too long ago. And then it moved back into Scorpio, stationed direct there in Scorpio, and now just today it's back in Sagittarius. So we'll look back and see what the energy of the new moon was like for you, and how you started off the beginning of your week with that energy. And then we'll move on to currently, today, midweek, how this, again, Mercury transit into Sagittarius is affecting you, both in your love life and your business. And then we'll look forward through to the end of the week and how this continues to affect Libra life. And that will take us through to the 16th, and then I will put mid-month readings up for you all. That said, if you would like to take a look at December, the full month of December, or at least the first half of December, check out the December readings that went up early. I did all 12 signs just right around the 1st. So there is a full month reading up in case you want something broader than just a week and just one transit, right? Trying out a lot of different stuff this month. Just seeing what I like best, what I want to take into 2019 with me. So, Libras, in regards to the new moon and how you started this week, it looks like progress was halted or slowed down a little bit. In terms of your love life, at least. For some Libras, it looks like sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble turning the music down for us. There we go. It looks like some Libras may have gained your independence in terms of your love life around that new moon in Sagittarius, or the beginning of this week. I see you, I see things slowing down, or, progress being entirely halted, perhaps. Maybe messages and communication slowing down or stopping. And I see with these clarifiers that it's a lot about your independence, and honestly, a lot of you being grateful for that independence, but also this air character that I really feel like is you, wielding and carrying and owning and knowing and using a truth that is actually heavy to know and to use and to carry, probably about someone that you were involved with, or maybe just about your own independence, about the fact that you need to be on your own right now. Now, of course, that won't resonate with everybody. That's what's coming through for us, especially, again, in regards to this Mercury transit, too. Because where that is taking you today, though Mercury is direct now, and has, as I said, as of today, has moved back into Sagittarius, it looks like a lot of you Libras are still feeling the shadow effects of that with the Queen of Swords in reverse today, obsessing over what has recently happened in your love life in the recent past, maybe seeing things a little bit illogically, honestly, when the Queen of Swords turns up in reverse, she's often, you know, not seeing things clearly, using poor judgment and so poor logic, or vice versa, poor logic and so poor judgment. She may be trying to be a little bit sly with someone because she's not seeing things clearly. You know, those are just all characteristics of that person. But in general, definitely obsessing over something that has happened in the past. Maybe may have been something with another air sign, Libras, someone who was a little immature, or at least your all's communication was a little immature, and recently that would make sense for just about anybody with that Mercury retrograde, and especially being retrograde in Sagittarius as it was before, and then in Scorpio. But whereas progress was halted and, well, slowed down and maybe even halted for some of you because of either yours or this other person's need for independence around the new moon in the beginning of the week, it looks like, in terms of your love life, by the end of the week, we are making slow and steady progress again. We're back to making slow and steady progress. Now, this may be independently. It may be on your own for a lot of you. That's not to say, you know, expect a return. I don't see that. But I do see, as the Knight of Pentacles represents this loyal and dependable energy, this practical energy, maybe stubborn, an energy that pays attention to detail, certainly an energy that has a sense of purpose. Whomever you're with and whatever you're focusing on, in terms of what falls under the category of love life to you, underneath that umbrella, there is this slow and steady progress being made. And you have the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck as a piece of advice about your love life. Fate is at play here. The divine has their hands in this. Not everything that has happened recently or that will happen this week is within our control, is within your control, Libras. There are opportunities, or at least an opportunity, that you can't know exactly when it will present itself, that you can't know exactly how it will present itself, or for that matter, where it might present itself. But here in the reading, it's falling in, again, in line with your love life, whatever falls into that category to you. I really feel that it is an opportunity to communicate. Maybe an opportunity to move forward and to begin healing. Perhaps some certain communication needs to happen in order to be the catalyst for that healing, because you do have the Three of Swords in reverse, reminding you that the only way out of the situation is through it. And speaking of finally healing, this may be something that you've been moving toward for some time. And it reminds you that if you're in denial about the truth of what is going on currently, you could be in danger of repeating the cycle that is so painful that you're moving through. So things to keep in mind. It very well may be that you do have an opportunity to communicate with someone about the truth of what actually happened in regards to your love life in the recent past this week. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling some confirmation about that. And having this honest conversation, taking this honest look at what happened, as I said, can begin this slow and steady process of healing. Whether that means together or separately, that's different for each Libra here. But it looks like the opportunity, as I said before, the opportunity to get that clear communication out, to help this state of, again, obsessing illogically over the past, it looks like that opportunity will once more be out of your hands as far as when it presents itself, where it presents itself, and how it presents itself. But with the Wheel of Fortune upright, it is telling me that it's up to you not to miss that opportunity. And it is, you know, fate and the divine stepping in, whether you're needing to heal from something that just won't work out, or you're really hoping to have a conversation in order to make things work out with someone, perhaps. Or, you know, if you're, you know, you're the one who wants to be independent here and you're just moving ahead independently and that's your choice. Whatever the case is, it's the divine's will. It is not to say that you can't shift your destiny and your fate. Everything on the table is just the path that you're on now, and free will is always at play. But as of today, the path that you're on now, and especially speaking of the way that Mercury moving into Sagittarius affects you, there is this sense that you have been and are currently on a path that is divinely designed, that is in line with a destiny, that in my mind and heart, the way I would say it, that nature itself wants to see you reach. Now, for some of you, you know, you being able to move forward alone past this person and situation that you're obsessing over is dependent on this opportunity now that now that Mercury is in Sagittarius again and is coming in direct this time. that you really need in order to move forward, in order to stop illogically obsessing, or speak your piece. For a lot of you, that's the case. But like I said, for some of you, you know, you're still hoping to work something out, or the two of you and someone else are actually moving forward together. In any case, as I said, the divine does have their hands in this, and there is this message not to miss that opportunity if you want to be on this destined path. And yeah, that taking that opportunity to communicate does catalyst this healing and this slow, steady progress forward, whether it's alone or independently or not. For most Libras that this reading is for, it is independently, but it absolutely can resonate as a couple as well. But I specifically want to note the attention to detail that the Knight of Pentacles points out to me. There's something that you're combing over when you go back to this past that you're obsessing over. There's something that you're combing over, a detail that doesn't seem right to you, that doesn't feel right to you, or a detail that you're missing that would maybe make things make more sense as far as what happened. And maybe having this conversation of closure, or this conversation that just catalysts healing for couples, is in itself what seems like the detail to you at this point, Libra. As if you're much more focused on work life or something else, or you just think, well, we're going our separate ways. You know, what does it matter if we talk, or we're staying together? You know, everything will be fine. You may be treating this opportunity to communicate clearly about whatever you're obsessing over in the past like the detail itself, or maybe there's a detail you're missing, but there's something about the paying attention to detail here at the end of the week that really pushes this progress forward, that really allows that healing to begin. In terms of your business, your work life, your career, your life purpose, whatever you're passionate about, studying or creating at this time, or just, you know, your finances, however you bring in your resources and money, whatever business is to you, Libras, we see strength showing up. So there may have been a Leo energy around you during the time of the new moon, or here at the beginning of the week, that has significantly influenced your business life, your work, your money, your career. But aside from it just being a Leo energy, it's also speaking about self-discipline, showing unconditional love for yourself and for whatever that work, that business is for you. a lot of times, often through unconditionally loving ourselves as the person who does the work, runs the business, right, etc. So there's been this period around the new moon, and this is what I did around the new moon, Libra. Completely understand. There's been this period of showing unconditional love for yourself and what you're working on. And of course, unconditional love for ourselves means showing that love to what our mind needs, what our body needs, what our spirit needs, and that includes our emotional body as well, right? Really taming your desires to focus on other things in order to really draw your focus to this business, to this work, whatever it is that you're working on. Still, midweek right now, progress is halted. Progress has slowed down in the love life. The communication has slowed down in the love life, and you've begun moving into your mind and obsessing over what happened in the recent past. And so that immediately translates into your work life as progress being totally halted, a little bit stuck, not going anywhere right now, not feeling exactly confident or driven, not feeling the same surge of youthful energy that has brought you to this point. Your mind may even take you to a place where you're starting to think, I'm just spinning my wheels. And really that's just because your thoughts are so scattered, and because you're so focused on, again, possibly illogically obsessing over the recent past with a lover. And every time I say that, every time I go over that, Libra, I just keep getting cold chills and cold chills and cold chills. I mean, that's really what this message is about. With that Queen of Swords in reverse representing you right top and center of your reading, it's just sort of saying that incessant need to dissect and analyze things that you are not seeing clearly, remembering clearly, or completely understanding. And you may be very well aware that you don't completely understand. Maybe there's no way for you to have all the information, and that's why this conversation is so important. But that practice is bringing everything else, it seems, in your life to a stop. And while you may feel scattered and like you're spinning your wheels, do remember that the reading has already told us that the divine and fate very much has their hands in this, and that any slowed or halted progress is probably right on time, meant to be, an opportunity to reevaluate and have this conversation. And then by the end of the week, you have the Six of Wands in reverse. So the Chariot in reverse, followed by the Six of Wands in reverse. This is not a week of victory or progress concerning your business life and your work life. And it looks like for most of you directly because of your love life, because you're obsessing over the past, because you're stuck on something, someone, a situation that you just can't move forward from. And 88 may prove to be particularly 888. You've got the 8 of Wands in reverse, the 8 of Cups in reverse, and then the 8 of Swords is upright, denoting this a sort of victim mentality that is going along with the situation. And that's not to say that it's necessarily yours. That could be the other person that's in the situation with you. I see an earth sign though, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. I remember Taurus showing up strongly for Libra. And it looks like a lot of you do have a business opportunity in the near future, or maybe currently, possibly around starting your own business that, you need not be so distracted from currently, or that, you don't want to be so distracted from currently. But again, this is a situation, a reading in which, your love life is directly affecting your business. And it's clear that the advice is to keep in mind that fate and destiny are at play, that this opportunity probably to communicate, but whatever opportunities are being offered you this week, especially connected to your love life, are yours to miss. The divine can't tell you often, most of the time, normally won't tell us exactly where and when that opportunity is, but again, it's up to us not to miss them. And advice as far as the career is to to visit where and why you're stuck, which I think we can already clearly see the answer to that is because your mind is just reeling about this either fight with a lover or truth that you're trying to uncover about a lover, or for most, you know, this lover that you're really trying to release and let go of. Because as advice, that's what I see as the Eight of Cups in reverse showing up as advice in your love life. I really just feel like it's pointing to, you know, you've got this stuck energy with the Chariot reverse, this lack of victory, and then this reminder that, you know, it's I think because you're stuck in your love life. Now, also the Six of Wands in reverse, though, does also still tell us that there is still time. So this business opportunity outside of your love life, it's not past. You know, just because today and midweek you have the Chariot reverse and you're feeling like taking things slow and being stuck probably in your mind, a lot of you, that doesn't mean that the opportunities for your business have passed. There is still time, even at the end of this week and moving into next week. There is still time. And, you know, the Eight of Cups in reverse, I do think, though, is saying first you will have to deal with what you're stuck on in your romantic life. I mean, this is someone who's refusing to or just having trouble walking away from things that aren't actually meant for them, right? So, you know, not being able to walk away, feeling like I can't, trying to run from your feelings, maybe, abandoning what your spirit body needs in order to focus on material things. Often this card often represents. So maybe, you know, you're thinking that material affairs will make you feel better about this heartbreak when your spirit needs different things. And first and foremost, if you haven't, that is for you to pay attention to your feelings on the matter. And this feeling of I can't let them go. I can't move on. I can't get over what happened. If you are telling yourselves those things, that's where this victim mentality steps in. And it's a vicious cycle. It may very well be the reason that you can't move on. And then you can continue to tell yourself that you can't. And you're never going to get out of that victim mentality. You're never going to get out of that stuck energy by reminding yourself that you feel like you can't move on. It's about slow and steady progress forward. For those of you who are trying to let go of someone entirely or a situation that you can never know the truth about, I have had to let go of those situations. Like literally situations where I thought about it, you know, what really happened, you know, what was said that was really meant, what was really true, who was that person even really, and to the point where it was literally in every way dangerous for me to continue to try to answer those questions. You know, it was dangerous for me to be around them, to get back a hold of them. I had to just make peace with the fact that these are answers that I don't need and that I will probably never have. And for those of you who are dealing with a situation like that, where you're obsessing, some of you are, okay. I was figuring so. And that would be why you're obsessing over it, right? It's about slow and steady progress forward. And that's why we have the Knight of Pentacles here. You're not going to have all the answers today, and you're not going to feel okay about that today. And you don't need to feel okay about that tomorrow, or even by the end of the year, or even mid-year next year. You just accept that eventually, no matter how much time it will take you, you will eventually be okay with that. And in the meantime, there's just this message here to be aware, not to necessarily even try to change it unless you want to. Let yourself decide if you want to, but be aware of the effect that being stuck in your mind and in your heart and on your past is having on every other portion of your life, particularly your business. You were doing good. You were doing good around the new moon in the beginning of the week. Okay, I'm gonna tame my desire to make everything all about my love life and still focus on what my business needs. And then right around this transit, everything just stops. You can't deny that you are in the past mentally. Again, slow and steady progress forward is the only way out of that, because you have to move through it. You have to move through the feelings about the situation, whether it's just an argument with someone you're staying with or someone that you have to release entirely. You have to continue to move forward, and a slow and steady pace is the only way. It's sort of right in line with the advice that time heals all wounds. It's frustrating. It's not what you want to hear immediately, but the only way out is through. Sometimes, dragging ourselves through this slow, steady, detailed work, and often for many of us having to accept that we may not get the answers that we've been craving and that we've been combing through the past trying to get a hold of. I'll go ahead and throw out there, what you can do is work on astral projection. If you are sincerely caged and allowing other parts of your life to fail entirely because you cannot let go of needing to know what really happened. If you feel like you cannot escape that need, what you can do is start working on astral projection. And honestly, it's a much more positive way to spend your time, even if you don't achieve it, to begin to explore that realm, explore that world, explore where your psyche can take you. I believe that we are meant to experience in that way, to be able to astral project into both the past and the future, and to witness the events that took place, the words that were said. Now, it may be that may be part of the long, slow process and detailed work that you have to do here, if that sounds like a good idea to you. If you don't even remember your dreams, if you've never tried to astral project before, if you've never read a book on that kind of stuff or watched a video, then you're starting from square one, from scratch. And the beautiful thing about a practice like that is that doesn't mean anything in terms of whether or not you'll have a knack for it or how quickly that you could advance. Doesn't mean anything at all that if you're a beginner. And maybe you're not. Maybe you've heard about these things, talked about these things, tried these things. If you're that obsessed, if you really need to know what happened, if you really feel like that's the key for you to unlocking your future, to being able to move forward in your business and your career and your studies and other areas of your life, then maybe it is. Maybe you really can't move forward without unlocking that key to the past and simultaneously future. And in that way, then that would seem to me that you're being called to do that type of work. You're being called to stretch and expand your mind and your psyche, and your exploration of the 4D, and learn what your new limitations actually are, what else this human life experience holds for you, where else we can go, what else we can see. Likely, if that's the path you choose, if that's the way you go, and some of you will, at least a few of you will, I can feel that confirmation overwhelmingly, that some of you will choose that route. And if that's the way you go, it will start out being about this person, this event, this argument, whatever this detail in your past is. It will start out being about that, but it will very quickly become about, again, the practice itself and this expansion of your mind and psyche and your new revelations about what life itself is and can hold for you, which just takes a heartbreak and turns it into sheer joy and excitement and enthusiasm. And there is nothing more beautiful than that, taking something that there's nothing uglier than and making it into something truly beautiful. And that is what a lot of you are being asked to do here. So with that, Libra, we are way past the time I meant to spend. So I will leave it at that and let you take the reins from there. I think you certainly can. I hope that this helped. I hope it offered you some insight, some help, something you didn't have when you came to the reading. And I hope you'll make very wise choices moving forward. Thank you just for being here, for liking and subscribing. Welcome, Lunartics. You can use the links below to order a reading from me if you're interested in a private reading. You are scheduled as soon as you make your payment. And you are also more than welcome to email me at LunarticksTarot@gmail.com. That's a fine way to get a hold of me instead if you want to talk about the readings that I offer, the areas that you're interested in, or if you want to go ahead and order. A lot of people like to email me afterwards with astrological information, details of their situation, specific questions, maybe that expands on this here, that's fine. And I'm happy to work with you that way as well. If you don't want to email me any information, you absolutely don't have to. You can just pay for the reading and we'll see what turns up for you. It's completely up to you. Either way, I love you, Libras, and I will post a mid-December reading for you very soon.